Recording in progress.
There we go. All right, Alita.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is Tuesday, January 16th. We're already through half of the month of January of 2024. And I'm super excited tonight because I have a good buddy on tonight who's going to help us understand how you navigate craziness. And so I am Alita Spire. I'm one of the Heat NMDs on our larger team. There's many leaders on this team, and every Tuesday night, mostly, we have a training call. So the first one and the third one, and then we have small team calls. So we actually, we get a chance to have our smaller team calls, but then larger team calls are always really fun because we really have great speakers. So tonight I'm going to introduce you to a gal. Her name is Jayme. She has been with the Juice Plus company for 25 years. She was in corporate America for 20 years until she was diagnosed with colon cancer. So at 40, I thought you were like only 35 or something. Anyway,
Must be Juice Plus.
She successfully fought the disease and has since been on a mission to help people and families live the healthiest life they can. Juice Plus not only helped her a longer journey for healing, but she also gave her something she had always been looking for, the ability to serve others and, more importantly, spend time with her family. Jayme has been married for 37 years to her husband, Steve. They have two kiddos, Shane and a daughter-in-law, Kaylee, son, Tyler, and now now a beautiful granddaughter. Yay! And her name is Cora, and grandson Rex. She lives in Lake Forest, California. She loves to travel in her motorhome across the country while doing what she loves to do most, helping people and enjoying life. Oh my gosh, you look so beautiful, Jayme. Welcome to our Larger Heat community. And I'm just going to turn it right over to you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Alita, for inviting me. I'm honored to be here with all of you guys tonight. I actually know several of you really well because we've been in this, should I say, on this journey for several years. I mean, Nikki, I've known you for, wow, super long time. And I see a few members of my team. Debbie Rudloff is here too, not on my team, but I see her, and we've known each other for a long time too. I love this community. I love that we get to share. I love that we get to make a difference in other people's lives. And I want to start off by telling you what even brought me here and why I continue to do what I do. In fact, on Monday, the 22nd, well, it'll be my grandson's 3rd birthday. It'll be my nephew's 32nd birthday, and it will be my 27th year of being cancer-free. So I'm super excited to be able to be here, not only be here, but enjoying life to its fullest. Well, kind of, sort of. We're going through a slab leak, so I have no house right now, pretty much. But hey, life gives you lemon, you make lemonade, right? So anyway, without further ado, let me begin. So almost 27 years ago, I had gone to the doctor for a very simple test, and I'd only done it because my husband did, and I thought, oh, that'll be fun. I should try doing that test. Colonoscopy. I've now had 12. So if you need any guidance or any help on understanding what that means, let me know. It's a breeze. It's actually nothing, no big deal. But I will never forget when I woke up from the actual procedure, and my 6'3" husband he's got his hands kind of like on the little bed thing they have, whatever you call those things. And I looked at him and he's smiling and everything's good. And I glance over at the doctor and he had this really solemn look on his face. And I just said, I'm kind of being kind of kidding. I go, hey, is everything okay? And he goes, no, Jayme, it's not. And I said, what, do I have like a tumor or something? And he goes, you do? And I said, is it cancer? He goes, yes. And then I said, am I going to live? And he said, I don't know. And my 6'3" husband did one of these. He went back in the chair like this and it fell all the way down and he literally bounced off the ground. Now, I know that sounds terrible, but there's mostly women on this. I think it's almost all women. Anyway, so I can say this without retribution. But all the nurses, the doctor, and everybody is down on their knees with my husband. And I'm like, I cannot believe you're making this about you again. You know, this is about me, not about you. And so they have smelling salts and all that other stuff, and they get him back up and they set him down. And I was actually paralyzed in fear and not knowing. And any of you that have ever been touched by cancer, either yourself or someone in your life, you know that it is the most daunting thing, because you feel like you've lost control and you don't know what to do. And all these decisions have to be made and you feel like you're losing it completely. And at 40 years old, my kids were 10 and 6, about to turn 7. And all I wanted to know was if I could survive, or if I wanted to live for them, because I didn't know what they would be like if I wasn't around. Love my husband to pieces, but if you know him, he's a race car fanatic. He races boats, he races cars. And I didn't thinking my kids are going to be in a car at 5 years old or something. So I had to stay alive for my children. So thank goodness it went fast, but they put me in for emergency surgery. They took 12 inches of my colon. When they found the tumor, it was already the size of a lemon. It had grown outside of my colon and already in the surrounding tissue in the area. So they were able to resect it, but they told me you're going to have chemo every week for 6 months. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I got to do what I have to do, right? I had to live for my children. So after I was healing from the surgery, before I was going to start treatment, I started doing all this research on what I could do to help myself. And all I kept reading about was, you need to pump your body full of whole foods. You need to eat healthy and clean and all of that stuff. And at the same time, my husband was being treated for an autoimmune disorder. And the doctor told him, I've been doing all this research on how I can help my patients better. And he was actually introduced to Juice Plus by his cousin. And his cousin, you may know him, his name is Ron Blue. And he was an amazing man. He still is an amazing man. And his wife, Judy. And so he was telling Steve, I know what happened to Jayme. You're dealing with this. I found this stuff that's just fruits and vegetables, and they found a way to put it in a capsule. And so he goes, you guys really should try it. You've got nothing to lose. And this could help Jayme not only heal, but help her body work from the inside out to help her heal from the treatment, because the treatment is going to kill everything, good or bad. So I'll never forget this. My husband brings home this cassette tape thing. We go in our driveway and we're listening, and it was a wonderful gentleman by the name of Dr. Richard Du Bois. And the education that he gave on this tape about the importance of whole food nutrition and how you cannot duplicate that because vitamins don't have that. You need whole foods to do that in your body. And so he told me about it. I looked at all the research, even though I really didn't understand it, but it made sense. It was published in medical journals. I mean, doctors were using this. It made sense to me. So the day that I started chemo, and anybody that's gone through this, your doctor is very important to you. Your oncologist is someone that you have to trust, believe in, count on for good advice and good information. So I said, I'm going to start taking, it's called Juice Plus. And he stopped me and he goes, all that stuff is stupid. Don't do it. And I went, I go, do you know about it? He goes, no, but they're all stupid. Don't do it. I'm thinking to myself, and this is what I try to help people with today, because I spend a lot of time with cancer patients. I'll say, the worst thing that's taken away from you is your control. And the one thing you need back is you need to have some decision in this process. And the only way to do that is to ask a lot of questions. You need to be a part of any decision that's going to be made about you. So I thought, okay, I had looked into this. This made sense to me. I'm not listening to him and I'm going to do it. Well, they always monitor your blood work when you're going through treatment because, you know, the chemo amplifies every single time you have it done. It gets worse and worse and worse. I was so anemic from the cancer that my hemoglobin, that's your healthy red blood cells, was down to 7. Normal for a woman is 11 to 15. And he said, you are so anemic from the cancer. And he goes, unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, but the chemo is going to make it much worse. And he said, it's going to take minimum of a year for you to come back into healthy ranges. Well, I started chemo and I had it every week, every Monday. And I started taking Juice Plus. And all we had back then was fruits and vegetables. And I took it. And 2 months later, I was religious about it. I did it every day. And I started upping it too, because I'm like, I felt really good when I was on it. 2 months later, my doctor called me. And if you've had this experience, the last thing you want to hear is from your oncologist. And he goes, I need to know what you're doing. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, Jayme, he goes, your red blood count was down to 7 when you started chemo. He said, I've never seen this. And he came from City of Hope. He goes, your red blood count went from 7 to 14.6. And I said, well, only thing I'm doing is taking Juice Plus. And he said, what is that? And I go, the stuff you poo-pooed from the very beginning and told me was stupid and not to do. And he said, you need to bring me the science behind it. And I did. I took him everything. And he said, he called me up and he said, I'm so sorry. He goes, I'm so used to people bringing me all their miracle pills or their juices or their herbs or whatever. But he said, I will never do that again. I will listen to what a patient shares with me because I need to do what's best for my patients. He started taking it and got his children on. He had kind of really young babies at the time. So, like I said, that was almost 27 years ago. I've been on Juice Plus, obviously, ever since. I've had 12 colonoscopies, and I haven't had any issues or problems since. So I am not in any way saying Juice Plus cures cancer or Juice Plus does this, but I'll tell you, that is even the best part of my story for me. But it made such a huge difference in my life. And I'm thinking to myself, I've got to tell everybody about this. So I started telling everybody I knew about it, everybody I knew. And I kept calling the doctor's wife that signed me up for Juice Plus. And I kept giving her orders after orders after orders and telling her, I go, you gotta sign this person up. I'd be on a call with a vendor at my job. And I'd go, how many fruits and vegetables do you eat a day? And they're going, what? I'm like, how many fruits and vegetables do you eat a day? I don't know. I have a salad. I go, you know what? You need to be on Juice Plus. You know that what I've gone through, you need to do this for you and your family. So one day the doctor called me and he said, have you ever considered, partnering with the company? And I started laughing. I go, are you out of your mind? I have a full-time job. I am going through chemo once a week and I have 2 small children. No. And he said, Jayme, I want you to think about something. He goes, you have already brought 20 people to us that you've shared with. He said, how did you do that? And he goes, you did it as you're living your life. And I thought about it. I'm like, that's true. Because all any of us can think about is, do we want another job to do? No, we don't have time for a job. So I decided that I was going to do what I'd already been doing with this. I was going to live my life like I was living it, but I was going to start sharing it. And I was going to see what could happen. Because I don't know about you guys, but being a mom of 2, I saw my kids in the morning and I saw my kids at night. We did homework. I made lunches. I made dinner. I cleaned up, read a book, they took a bath, and I went to bed. I spent more time working than I spent with my own children. And that is not what I wanted to do in my life. So I worked full time while I built my Juice Plus business. And I was able to leave my job after 1 year, and I was able to start building my Juice Plus business. And 1 year later, I was able to completely stop everything, and Juice Plus I became a national marketing director with the company. And I built it one day at a time, one person at a time. We didn't have social media back then. So I figured, imagine if you could do it that way, you can do it anyway. But you know what the biggest thing that came out of this was the first day, it's making me emotional. The first day that I got to stay home as a full-time mom, I dropped my children off at school. I came back, I poured myself a cup of coffee, and I looked down at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my sweats. I call them my Victoria's Secret sweats. I traded in my Nordstrom suits for my sweats. It was the best day of my life, and I never missed one event of my children. I got to be involved in everything they did. I got to watch them grow up and become men. I have a 36 and an almost 33-year-old. I have two beautiful grandchildren. And had it not been for this, I wouldn't be able to have the life that I have. And because of this, we bought a motorhome. My son races for the NHRA. He races a really fast car, and we get to travel across the country because I believe that you should be able to fire yourself and hire yourself again whenever you want to. And this gives you the freedom to be able to do that. Have there been bumps and hiccups along the way? Heck yes, there have been. But every day that I face one of those, and we've all been facing this last one for over 3 years, it's changed all of our lives. But before I worked for money, today I work to make a difference, and I have a vision to be able to help other people. I never did that in my previous job. When I leave this earth, I want to be remembered for making a difference. I want to make a stamp. I want to change people's lives. And all of you that have ever shared this amazing Juice Plus with anybody and have heard back from them and the difference that it's made in their lives know what I'm talking about. If I can change one child's life that doesn't have to go through what my kids went through with me. When I came home from the hospital after 10 days, my oldest son never would let me leave. If I ever left and said, I'll be back, he goes, no, you leave and you don't come back. The day that I left to go and have this procedure done. No child should have to go through that, much less their families. And I know we're making a difference every day. The hardships, and I have faced many in this business. We've had ups and downs. But every morning I wake up with what my original vision was. I'm going to change a life today, whether it be 1 or 2 or 3. I'm going to make a difference so that the good always outweighs the bad. Have I been in rebuilding modes? Many times. Many times. The people that got me to where I became, as I'm now a PMD, many of those people are gone and they're living their best life. And that's fine. That's fine. But every day we make a difference, and every day we change somebody else's life, and every day we can introduce it to somebody else. And somebody out there needs what we have. So I love that I get to do that. And it's different every day. My husband goes, well, when are you going to retire? I go, retire from what? He goes, well, your work. I go, I love what I do. I don't look at it as that. It keeps me alive. It keeps me feeling good. I'm 66 years old. Yay, and I still live life to the fullest. I enjoy it every day, and I never missed one thing. So I'm grateful that I got cancer, because that changed my life in a good way, So that's my story, Alita.
All right. So thank you. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. I mean, it's just like heart-wrenching. I totally got every moment of your path. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions, Jayme, and I'm sure that maybe some people have it here too. So I love the fact we never lose our position. And I have had people on my team too that have taken care of, relatives that have gotten sick in the last year. They have had losses like no other in the last 3 years. How do you, during those times, and your husband getting sick also, when he had his cancer, and then your concrete, how do you motivate yourself to like pivot and say, okay, I'm going to pick up the phone today, when really all you can do is focus on that? You know, I mean, there's good stressors and bad stressors. And sometimes I don't know about you guys, but with me, it's like sometimes you get in that mode, you're making all these phone calls, you're doing all this and then you have to switch gears and pick up a phone and try to share this beautiful product with people. How did you yourself get up the energy or the umpha to do that?
You know, it's funny. You made me think about something about 2 weeks ago. We had the cabinet guys in here and they were installing cabinets. And I said, oh, you guys, I'm going to get on a Zoom. Do you mind just kind of keeping it a little bit quiet for, 10 minutes? They go, I realized later they didn't understand what I said. So they were banging things into the thing. And I said to the person that I was on the Zoom with, I said, the beauty of what I do is that I get to do it when I'm at home, and I am now at home. And I turned my computer around so she could see the mess and everything that was going on. And I had to do nothing but laugh. But you know what? To answer your question, pivot is a very good word. I remember I was having one of those days, and then someone texted me and said, I have a woman that just found out that she has stage 4 cancer. Do you mind getting on the phone with her? And I was thinking, I can't emotionally do this right now. It was something going on, and my father had recently passed away. And I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe I can help her. Maybe she won't have to go through what I did. Maybe we can go through this together. Anyway, we got on the phone. I talked with her for an hour and a half. And when I hung up finally, I'm like, this is why I can do this. This is why I don't care what the day dishes out. This is why I can do it. And then I got a call probably 3 or 4 days later from a woman whose son had been I had gifted him with Juice Plus because he was diagnosed with leukemia. He was 5 years old. And the doctor, they went in for their first blood test after he had been on Juice Plus for a long time. And he said, I don't know what you're doing, but Troy is doing so well. Don't ever stop taking whatever you're doing. So whenever I get in one of those moods, which I do, we're all human. We're all going to, my husband went through his thing too. And we had this going on. Those are the things that make me get up every day and pivot to make a difference. And I know that we can make a difference. I will never give up believing that I can change somebody's life. And that stays with me even through those darkest days. And there's people on my team that are on here. They've seen me in those darkest moments. They know. We've got together too. How many times do you get to meet the most amazing people? This community has become my best friends. I don't know what I would do without all of you. So I hope that answers your question.
The Galaxy phone. There we go. Jayme, what's so funny is that I love Judy and Ron Blue. In fact, I've known them for a really long time because when I was married, they handled, our finances and stuff. And I went to visit Nikki at her she was at the Camelback Inn when I went to my very first conference, and I saw Judy there, and I asked her because they're incredibly wealthy, incredibly successful outside of Juice Plus. And so the guy here in town that manages all his stuff, he said, it's so funny that you would start this business because Ron Blue's wife started it. And he goes, I want to check what's into this. It was Ron Blue's CD and Ron Blue's testimony from the stage that got me to go, this is the real deal. And I asked Judy, I said, why do you do this? And she goes, look at all these women. They're all my best friends. And you were laying out by the pool right then. I remember you. It's like, isn't this crazy? Here's like what, 23 years later or whatever, or 15 years later or whatever it was. And so it's so funny how it all just comes around. But I love that about you. And I love the fact that you sales coordinators, all of us in that position, we're at the highest commission level. And if you have to take a step back, because we've all done it, that we still can re-engage at the highest commission level. so you don't lose anything, which in a lot of companies you do. So I love that also. Is there anybody who has a burning question they want to ask Jayme? If you can unmute yourself. We have a few minutes left. It's only 7:25.
Is there anything specific you can share about the anemia and any additional research that we have for the Juice Plus?
On what?
Well, I think she's asking about the anemia that I was diagnosed, and that was from the cancer. The cancer was actually eating away at me at it destroys your blood cells, your healthy blood cells in your immune system. So eventually it makes you very anemic. And so he told me that that's usually a big sign of cancer of some sort, is when you are anemic. Now, because of Juice Plus, because of all the green leafy vegetables that we have, that helps build up your red blood count, but you're doing it naturally. I mean, I hope all of us at least eat a couple of salads a day, but it's the magnitude of what you're getting in Juice Plus. And just so you know, when I was going through treatment, I took 8 reds and 8 greens every single day eventually, because I learned from the research that whatever your body doesn't absorb, it just gets rid of. Well, you can, that's why vitamins, this is a good story. I might have to share this. Okay. So I'm getting my colonoscopies done, right? I'm going to finish answering your question. I'm getting my colonoscopies done. And they've gotten to know me literally very well in there, obviously. Well, as they wake you up, they're waking me up and they go, Jayme. I go, yeah. They go, you see that guy next door? And I'm look over and I'm like, yeah. They found 42 vitamins sitting in his colon. Because guess what? Your body doesn't absorb that. Juice Plus, we absorb immediately. It opens up and goes into your bloodstream. That's why we don't pee it all out of us. So that's what the doctor finally read when he did the research, and he was looking at the one that they did on the immune system. And remember that if you looked at the first one, and they took people that were 65 and older, smokers and non-smokers, and they started them on Juice Plus and check their blood serum levels 28 days later. What happened, they knew was going to happen, which was that their antioxidant levels went up and all that. But their T cell, that's the good guys in your body that go and eat all the bad guys, basically, went up thousands of %. So my body was killing the cancer from my Juice Plus, along with what they were giving me. So whenever you have something going on in your body, fruits and vegetables, if you have arthritis, if you're anemic, if you're all that, don't take iron. That doesn't help you because your body doesn't absorb it, doesn't know what to do with it. That's what they kept telling me. People that take iron, it hurts your liver, it hurts your kidneys, but that's what the doctors recommend for anemia. So I decided I'm not taking that. And I did the Juice Plus. That's why I kept upping it, which is what made my anemia go away. I hope I answered your question.
Jayme, I have a question. I know that you said that your doctor said, no, that's stupid, you shouldn't take it, and you did anyway, which I applaud you for that. What advice would you give to people? Because that happens so often that they just poo-poo things and, oh, that's ridiculous. It's, it can't help.
Exactly. Oh, that is such a great question, Debbie. Thank you so much for asking that. Okay. Here's what when I counsel a cancer patient, I say, I want you to go into your doctor, ask them if you can eat fruits and vegetables. Can I eat broccoli? Can I eat carrots? Can I eat spinach? Yes, yes, yes. I have yet to have a doctor say no, that you can't do that. And I say that's what Juice Plus is. It's just the food. But when the doctor still complains, then I'll say, you know what? I want you to send him a couple of studies and I want him to look at it. And if he still has a problem, can you have him call me? Never had a doctor call me yet. And I've only had one doctor still say no. And that's because when you are on a treatment, you have to be very careful about overdoing antioxidants of a specific, like too much A, too much of this and too much of that. Everybody gets used to milligrams of all this stuff. Juice Plus is thousands of phytonutrients. It's not any one thing, a lot of. That's why I tell the doctor, I go, when you go in, does your patient look at a thing of broccoli and see how many milligrams of vitamin B is in there? Do they have any clue or C or anything? He goes, no. I go, That's what this is. So I hope that answers your question.
It did. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
That's awesome. I think we're good to go. I think you just hit the nail right on the head, Jayme.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
Oh
very
my gosh.
grateful.
And if everybody can unmute themselves and give Jayme a big,
Thank
big.
you so
Yeah,
much,
thank
Thank
Jamie.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
Jamie.
Thank
so
you so much,
much.
Jamie. Very
Mwah.
inspiring.
Big kisses.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you,
so
Jamie.
much.
Victory.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everybody.
Jamie.
Thank
Incredible.
you, everybody.
Have a good
Thank you,
evening.
and thank you for answering my question.
Don't forget
Okay.
tomorrow night,
Thank
Wellness
you.
Wednesday. Great
Bye.
event tomorrow night.
Wellness Wednesday tomorrow night.
Say it again, say it again. Night, everybody, but Wellness Wednesday, they've been really fun.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Night.
reminder.
That's because you were a star in one of them.
That is why. Night, everybody.
And a great star at that.